Yes, game seekers, I hope you're all doing well and I hope you've all had a positive day. We're here again on another client cast, and this time we're on a client cast with game seeker Liam, who's had nothing short of an incredible journey. To be honest with you, one of my best journeys yet. We're only 4 months in, I think it is, just literally about, and the progress already has been pretty much not only massively transforming for Liam and his physique, but also for his life. So, first of all, Liam, welcome on to Client Cast. How has your day been today, bro?
Thank you. Yeah, it's been a good day today, mate. Yeah, it's been good.
Good stuff. You got your training in, you got your diet in.
Yeah, everything so far. Just got to do my run tonight, and then that's my day complete.
Awesome stuff, man. So, Liam, I want to give clients a real insight into your journey. And if we
Yeah,
start back when you actually first reached out to me and kind of where you were at that point, mindset wise, life wise, and what made you reach out to me? Because I remember it was just before Christmas. And I get a lot of people messaging me before Christmas for the new year. And
yeah,
I'm not putting people down, but I'm used to it. People get excited, they get motivated, new year, new me.
yeah.
But
That's it.
but I just knew, I knew in my heart that you were very different. So give people an insight to kind of where you were at that point when you first reached out to me, and then I'll get a picture up afterwards.
Yeah. So basically, mate, I just weren't happy with anything that was going in my life. Nothing was going right. Just come out of a breakup. Sort of like lost my business through COVID and things. Um, my body, my mental health was really poor. Had a
Yeah.
lot of anxiety for a long time. Just everything built up. It got to the point where I couldn't get any lower, to be honest. When you get to that point, there's nothing else you really want to live for at that point. Do you know what I mean?
Completely.
Then people kept telling me, join the gym, join the gym. It's good. It makes you feel good. I just disregarded it for a long time. Then, as you know, my mate Dane, he was with you, and I just looked at the transformation that he had, and I couldn't believe it, to be honest. And I thought, I need to make a change. So then I reached out to you straight away. And at the moment I started speaking to you on the voice notes, I knew you could help me straight away. So yeah, it started from there, mate. And I've not looked back.
I just really can't explain enough that it's so difficult when you put yourself in your shoes. That you're dealing with a breakup, right? You obviously your business got hit in a negative way from COVID. You kind
Yeah,
of like life is kind of falling to pieces almost, right?
yeah,
And it's really difficult because when you're in that sort of situation, you don't know the way forward. You don't know what to do, right?
yeah,
And even though people saying to you like go to the gym and all this, I understand it. That from the outside, you kind of think like, well, what's going to the gym going to really do for me? But
yeah,
it's actually incredible what getting a positive focus in your life does. And I'll never forget that first conversation because you know what it was that I remember thinking to myself when I talked to you because hearing how low you were at that point and kind of like you just wanted to do something positive. You needed a change in your life
yeah,
for your mental health and for your physical health and just something positive to focus on. And I remember thinking to myself, I really hope this guy joins up with me. I remember thinking that because I know a lot of people will come to me, they'll go backwards and forwards, and not everyone joins up, mate. You have a lot of people who they stand in front of themselves, and I get it. They think to themselves, "Can I really do this? Is it a gimmick?" Blah blah blah. But I was so happy that you made that step forward and we got on a plan because first things I know what this lifestyle can do for a person. And obviously I'm very confident in the results that I can get. And I
yeah,
remember talking to you and thinking to myself that if I can take this guy to where I know I can, right, and he puts the effort in that he's saying that he wants to put in, it's going to be incredible. So I want to pull a picture up right now, actually, of you when you first started your journey with me.
yeah,
And it'd be interesting to see like I mean, can you see that right? I was just coming up now. Can you see that right now? Yeah.
yeah, mate. Yeah, I can see that.
I mean, when
Cheers.
you look back at that, that was the first picture that you sent me, and you didn't really know what that journey was going to bring. But at that point, even though you were at such a low point in your life, you'd had enough. You were ready to really put the work in, weren't you?
Yeah, straight away. To be honest, I'm looking at that picture now, and I can't even believe I let my body get in that condition. It's obviously for me that is terrible now looking at it, but yeah, just wow.
It's crazy. It's crazy because we don't see ourselves. And you said that you can't believe that you let yourself get in that condition,
Yeah,
right? But the truth of the matter is that it's kind of like when everything's on top of you, and you're just going from day to day in the darkness, it's kind of like you don't realize how much you let yourself go. Do you know what I mean? And I always tell people, because when people first join up with me and they send me those first set of pictures, it can be quite a wake up call for a lot of people because they've never had to really take pictures of themselves and be so vulnerable, like,
Yeah.
so raw. And I think you just add to them. I tell people, just let it add to your motivation, because I'm promising you that you're only going to move forward from this point. So, let me ask you, the first sort of couple of weeks getting into it, right? Getting into routine, starting to get onto a proper diet, getting into the gym. I mean, how was that? Do you feel like almost instantly things were picking up for you, or at the beginning was it a bit of a drag, and was it a case of just getting it done?
Um, so in my mind, I wanted to get it done. Like I didn't want anything
Yeah,
to stop. But do you know, like the first couple of weeks, I say the first 2 months really, just having that motivation to get up and go to the gym, it was more of a chore. It was, oh, I've got the gym tonight. Oh, I've got the
yeah,
gym. It wasn't like something to look forward to. It was more like I had to do it. I was sort of forcing myself to do it at the time. Then we get down to the diet. That was probably the hardest thing, to be honest, because at that moment in time, I was
yeah.
eating takeaways every single day on the road at work, McDonald's every day, pasties. You wouldn't believe a human body could consume that much junk in one day, and that's no exaggeration at all.
That's
Yeah,
crazy. So you've
yeah,
gone from a position where basically your diet, there was no diet. It was just literally eat what the fuck you want, right? If you're
yeah,
hungry and you can buy it, just eat it. No sort of set meals, no sort of regulated routine, just
no,
eating what you fancy, not really
yeah,
being active, not really going to the gym. And so
yeah,
what it is that when you go into a plan like what we're on, you start that first couple of weeks and it's a violent shift. Now all of a sudden you're in a situation where you're actually having to not only eat a certain way, but you're having to weigh your food out, right? You're
yeah,
having to stick to set meals, right? You're having to go to the gym, you're having to do cardio. And that's a big lifestyle shift. But I'll be honest with you, Liam, right? Straight up, mate, you took it on really, really well. Like I was so impressed
yeah,
even in the beginning, because I'm not silly. I know how difficult it is. But here you are, 1 minute you're in your van, you're out and about, you just eat what the fuck you want. You're not even thinking twice about what
no,
you're eating, and you're not concerned whether it's healthy or not. You're just eating food, right?
yeah,
You're not really committed to the gym. You're not really committed to any sort of activity with cardio. And now all of a sudden, overnight, you're having to shift and change that all. I mean, I know how well you've done, but obviously people watching this don't know. So I would like to know, from my insight, how difficult did you find that shift, and what made you just stay so disciplined to it?
just it was really difficult, to be honest. The hardest
Mm.
thing for me not only was the different in changing food, but cutting out the sugar. That was the hardest thing I've ever done. I haven't had any sugar since the 8th of December.
Wow,
Still,
you should be
um,
really proud of yourself, man.
it got to the point where I would open up the cookies that the kids were going to have, and I'd sniff them. It sounds crazy, just to sort of get that, like what it'd be like to eat it. And I was waking up with like hot and cold sweats. It was almost like I was having drug withdrawals. It sounds absolutely mental, but like I said to you before on the voice note, something weird's happening to me because it just felt unreal. Uh, all I could
Yeah.
think about was eating sweet and sugar stuff. Um, I don't even get that anymore. I don't. I've got food around me, cookies, sweets, everything. I don't even think I actually want to have a bite of it anymore. It's just completely gone. Um, yeah. So
That's incredible. And you bring up a really good point, because a lot of people do struggle with this when they first go into a diet. Because what it is, I'm a real big believer in for ultimate transformation and for really making great progress. I'm a big believer in the foods that you eat matter more than calories, more than macronutrients and all that sort of stuff. The foods that you eat matter. So anyone who's been on a diet with me know that I like to utilize a lot of whole foods, right? A
yeah,
lot of quality whole foods. So that means that your sugar content is going to be real low. And when you go into a diet like that, especially when you're somebody like you who has actually had a diet where you haven't even controlled what you're eating at all, you're just eating for pleasure whenever you fancy, whatever you fancy. When you go onto a diet where it's like what we have, and it's very low sugar, no artificial sugars, no processed sugars, whatever,
Yeah.
you do fucking go for a drug-like withdrawal where you're getting the flushes, you're getting the sweats, you're actually getting those cravings. And I've got to
It's just,
say to you, you know what it is that most people break, man, right? And I don't even get upset or mad about that because I understand how difficult it can be. What actually kept you from fucking breaking? Like
I'm
what
just,
what
I'm,
made you just hammer down on everything right at the start?
I think I'm really stubborn, to be honest. I'm just the most stubborn person in the world. So if I wanna do something, I'm gonna do it, and I'm not gonna let nothing
Yeah.
stop it. I think that was the biggest factor for me, just how stubborn I am as a person. I've set goals, what I wanted to achieve, and I know if I could have gone in the cupboard and had something on an evening, no one's gonna know. I could tell people, oh yeah, I've stuck
Yeah.
to it. I'm cheating myself. That's the only person I'm cheating. Nobody else. I'm cheating myself. So I just had to be disciplined, and yeah, I think just the stubbornness of myself.
I really love that. I can really associate with that myself. It's really interesting you bring that point up because you know myself. Obviously, I've been through diets, I've been through bulking, I've been through a lot of different things, and
Yeah,
along that journey of my own journey, you know, so many of my friends or family would be like, "Oh, come on, if you have this, it won't hurt. If you have that, it won't hurt."
yeah.
And I
I've
say
had
to them, "It's, do you know what I mean? It's not going to knock me back, but I know, and I don't want to let myself down.
yeah, yeah,
So
because
I
that's
completely,
yourself down. You're only letting yourself down at the end of the day. Like we could both go in the cupboard and eat something. No one's in the house. No one's gonna know. You can tell everybody, yeah, I've stuck to my plan, but you've just cheated yourself.
this is it. And I really hope that people watching this realize that there's so much power in that because I always say this. I always say that you can lie to anyone, but don't lie to yourself and don't get in the habit of lying to yourself.
Yeah,
Because I know for me that if I've set myself a goal and I really want to achieve it, so I'm not kind of flirting with the idea, I really want to achieve it. So for you, you set the goal, you said enough's enough, my life's in a bad place, fuck this shit, I want to turn it around, I want to make a change. So you reach out to me because you think, okay, this guy is working with people that I know, he's got them into great shape, that's what I want to do, right? Now I've got my plan, right? So I know what I've got to eat. I know what I've got to do training wise. I know what I've got to do cardio wise. I'm not going to excuse myself and I'm not going to lie to myself. I'm going to make sure I get everything nailed. And I can't emphasize enough how much I love that about your attitude because people who want to know that usually when you get on a journey, and this is not a bad thing, but usually when people get on a journey with me, you can imagine that it takes time to get into that program. It takes time to get
yeah,
everything in go. I can tell you that Liam from day one has just been on it, right, and making sure that everything gets nailed. And it comes down to your mentality. What you got to realize, your mentality, the way that you approach things, is off the highest level, mate. And I really mean that because I've worked with a lot of people. I know, right, and how disciplined you are, and the fact that you're stubborn. That once you've set a goal, you're going to make sure that you do everything you can to achieve that goal. Says
yeah,
so much. So the first couple of weeks for you, that must have been a real battle for you against you. Going for these sweats, trying doing this new routine, going to the gym in 5 days plus per week, right? Doing your cardio. That must have been a lot. But you know, at the same time as it being a lot, you must have been happy that look, I'm doing something positive now. I've got a routine in place. I'm working on myself, as hard as it may be.
yeah. I think taking the pictures each week helps
Yeah.
because you go back and you look from where I was to where I am now. So I think the first 10 weeks was probably the worst for like the sugar cravings and the things like that. After that, it got easier. But I'd look back at pictures and I thought, I'm looking great now compared to what I used to be. But then on my next stage, I'm going to look even better than I do now. So every stage, I'm always going to look better and like get where I want to be. So I just keep going back. I've got all my pictures saved in a folder, and
Yeah.
I look back at them, and it just gives me motivation.
Man, do you know what? Fucking love that because that's what I got. You know, the first time I worked with a coach, right? The first time I ever worked with a coach, what I
Yeah,
loved was the fact that I was getting better every week. And it didn't matter where I was right now because I knew that, well, if I carry on, I'm only going to get better.
yeah,
And it is motivating, isn't it? When you look back, and I think people don't realize that having accountability, knowing that shit, every week I've got to take pictures, I've got to send those over, right? I've got to be accountable for my actions. It does a lot. It does a lot. And, you know, I always say that motivation is something that comes from doing something. And I bet you as you were taking your pictures week in, week out, and that progress is starting to come along, that motivation then starts to rise, doesn't it?
It definitely does, yeah. 'Cause the more progress you see, the more motivated you're getting because you think, well, if I've done this in X amount of weeks, where am I going to be in the next amount of weeks? So,
Yeah, absolutely. And then you start to get like turned on almost by the ideas of how far you can go in different things, because we'll get into that in a bit, like what we're going to do, how far
mm,
we are going to go. But I couldn't be happier because not only have I seen your body transform week by week, right, but you yourself are transforming week by week. And it's just so good because I feel like building your body, this is what people don't realize. It's not necessarily getting the six pack, right? What it's about is that the process that it takes for you to have to work on you, where you have to be disciplined, you have to be consistent, you have to be committed, you can't be having dramas in your life, you can't be focused on distractions. You really have to go into every single day. And not only are you having to be organized, not only are you having to be focused, but you have to fucking work hard too. Because
yeah,
let's be honest with each other. I'm sure, because I want to get into this with you because you train hard, right? And I'm sure there's been many mornings when you haven't wanted to go for a run. There's sure there's been many times when you haven't wanted to go to the gym, but you've made yourself do it. And people don't realize how powerful that is for you as a person. I mean, tell us, how many times have you been in that situation and you've done it and then afterwards been like, do you know what? I'm so fucking proud of myself for putting that work in.
yeah, plenty of times. Like last night, for example, I've got a bit of an injury at the moment. Hurt
Yeah.
myself, and I didn't really want to do anything last night. I just wanted to put my feet up. I ended up going for a run last night. I only went for 3.5 miles. I've just had COVID last week as well, so it's took it out of me. But straight away, 3 days after, I was back running again. So, once you start being lazy and start thinking I'll go tomorrow, tomorrow never comes. So I've just carried on. I started back at 2 miles, building myself back up. I ran last night. Didn't want to go. Got halfway around. I just wanted to walk back. The time I got back, when I looked at on the map because I tracked my run every time, I actually
Yeah.
beat my personal best, even though I felt at my worst. I beat it by 2 minutes, um, and I ran further. It was unbelievable, and I saved it on my phone. Just I thought, if I can do that when I feel at my worst, what can I do when I feel at my best? So
Mate, absolutely incredible. Couldn't agree more. I always say that the most difficult days, the hardest days where shit feels like it's impossible, these are the days where you got to turn up. Because you know what it is, bro? Is that when we're winning, right? Everyone loves a winner. We love to be around ourselves when we're winning, when life is going good, when things are going good. It's what you do when you've fallen. Like obviously you dealing with COVID, dealing with an injury. There's reasons there for you to start getting lazy, reasons
yeah,
there for you to start excusing yourself. But you done exactly what I would do myself. I would actually push myself harder in those situations because it's kind of like it's all about building that mindset. And if you can perform and you can do good, even on the worst of days, that you can be there for yourself and you
yeah,
can push yourself and almost champion yourself to do what you need to get done, then on the easy days, right, it's just a walk in the park. And
that's
and
it.
I got to say that now you're doing what you are doing, and yeah, it is hard. I mean, how does it feel being in a routine where you're working on you like you are compared to where you were before? Because you must feel in such a different mind space compared to the guy who started the journey only 4 months ago.
Yeah, yeah, it's nice because before I didn't have any routine at all. I'd set my alarm for like 15 minutes before I have to leave the house for work. I'd brush my teeth. I'm out the door. There's
Yeah,
just no routine. Now I'm setting my alarm clock for 5:30 in the morning. I'm at the gym for 6 o'clock, 3 or 4 times a week in the morning, and then I'm going twice
yeah.
on an evening. So it just feels nice to have some structure, you know?
It really does. Yeah, it sets you up, doesn't it? I bet going to the gym. I know it's difficult getting to the gym early doors. I know that feeling. I myself train early,
Yeah,
but it just sets you up for the day, doesn't it? It makes you feel strong. It makes you feel alive. It wakes you up.
yeah, yeah. Like, what I do is I'll set my alarm and I'll put my phone at the other end of the room because the hardest part is
Yeah,
actually getting to bed. So if I have to get up to stop that alarm because that's one damn annoying alarm, a ringtone.
yeah.
So I'll get up, I'll turn it off, and I'm up. Then I've got no excuses. There's no way I'm going to go back and lay back down in bed. So that's how you start your
I
day.
fucking love it, mate. I love it. I love it that you're ready. You've already beaten yourself mentally before the day's even started. Because the night before, you've gone and put that phone where you know that If
Yeah.
any laziness of me sets in, it's not
Yeah.
going to be able to happen because I'm going to have to get up. I'm going to have to physically walk to do that phone. And by the time I've done that, I know then that I have to execute and get out of there. And I mean, like you now keeping to the diet. So obviously you're a guy before who just eat a lot of takeaways, a lot of junk, right? Easy to go, easy access food. I get it, right?
Yeah.
Now that you're having to prepare meals and everything, how are you finding that transition? Are you enjoying it?
I'm enjoying it, yeah, because now I'm experimenting with like different herbs and stuff, Joe, like just to season my food and things rather than
Big
just
time, yeah.
slapping a bit of like ketchup or something on it. So and I'm getting to experience like different stuff now. Cause before I wouldn't try new things. It would just be like, oh, I'll chuck some ketchup on that or some barbecue sauce. Now I'll put like different herbs and stuff all over my food and just get the taste of everything, like something different. And I think the edition's gone really well, to be honest. I enjoy prepping my food because then, like again, you've got routine and structure. You know what you're having at lunchtime. You know what you're going to have on an evening. I love it. It's good.
Oh, mate, it's a pleasure to hear it. And I'm again, I can't emphasize it enough how much I actually enjoy working with you because you just rise to the occasion every time. I'll tell you, I've had so many guys say to me, "Oh, I can't eat this on the diet. I can't eat this on the diet. It's bland." I say to them, use it as an opportunity to learn to cook a bit better. Do you know
Yeah,
you're bland, right?
yeah,
Because
exactly.
I enjoy every meal. I enjoy every meal because I change the flavors up continuously. And
Yeah,
like you, I like the fact knowing that, okay, do you know what? This is the diet that I've got to follow. And if I do this, I'm going to either lose body fat or I'm going to gain muscle or I'm going to get stronger. I enjoy that. And when you've got your day set up like that and you've got your meals ready and you're enjoying them and you're cooking, you just feel you feel so much better in your day. You feel so much more structured, so much more organized. And that puts a spring in your step, don't you find? Because then you've got, what you're going into your day and you're trying to actually get something out of it rather than just trying to get through it.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think it helps because like my business we was talking about, I actually used to cook every day, so I actually enjoy cooking. So for me, it's no different for me. It's just something I actually enjoy doing. So just
Oh,
mixing up the
wow.
stuff, it's a bonus. So
That's awesome stuff, man. It's awesome. And I'm so glad because, like I say to you, that I can't emphasize this enough. Like when I show you a final result, all right, and obviously me and you're going to continue further, but when I show the result that you've got so far, so many people, man, when I've put your pictures out, they've been dumbfounded, like they can't believe the transformation you've made. But I've always said to them that, look, this guy here doesn't doesn't fuck around, right? People got to realize that from day one, the minute you got that plan, and it's it's impressed me, right? And I'm the guy writing the plan from day one. You've literally followed it to the letter and given it, and not only followed it, but given it everything you can. There's been no, with Liam, there's been no sort of resistance. It's not been like where I've set in the plan, he's been like, oh, do you know what? I haven't been able to get the meals down, but I've done the cardio and done the training, or I haven't done the cardio, but I've done the training. Like, every week, the guy has been consistent, bang on in everything I've told him to do, not one complaint, not one excuse, and giving it everything I've got. Like, I've been dumbfounded sometimes when you've checked in with me. So clients know this, your mentality right here. When you've checked in with me and done more cardio than I've
yeah,
told you to even do, right?
yeah.
And I think, does that come from, is that just you now you're finally giving yourself that chance to do something, to really work on yourself? Are you just are you just every day you must just be ready to get after it? I can imagine with the effort that you put in.
Yeah, I just want to do better than I'm doing. So if you give me my plan, I just want to do a bit extra. Do you know? Like
Yeah,
I just love chasing it. To be honest, like it's addictive now. So
of
so
course. It
I
is.
put I put my
Go ahead.
headphones in for running. Like people are
Yeah.
like, how can you just do that? It's so boring. It's not because when I'm listening to my music, I'm zoning out. I don't actually realize how far I'm actually running. I'm just running, and I pick a couple of different routes, and now I know subconsciously how far I'm running because I do it all the time now. But for me, I just run. I'm not thinking how long is it going to be before I'm back. Sometimes I'll get back and then I'll run a little shorter route just for that extra bit, like that extra mile or whatnot. Just yeah. I'm actually thinking about in October. I'm actually thinking about doing the Great Northern Run. It's like a half marathon. So,
I
and
think you should.
this is coming from somebody that I used to hate running. Like that would be my worst thing. If you asked me to do anything in the gym, anything at all, running would be the last thing I'd ever pick. now I'd say to anybody, I prefer running more than anything. My car
Bro, honestly,
for one for me.
I love to hear it, and I definitely let's do that one. You know what? It'd be one to tick off, something an experience for you. We'll
Yeah,
definitely do that. And you know, it's so true. I love hate running. So running I find very difficult, but I love it because I tell people that you don't understand until you do it how
yeah,
fulfilling it is. Like
yeah,
when you're running, you are in a zone, which honestly is kind of like it's the only time when don't you agree? Like you're working hard, but you're working hard physically, but mentally you're at peace.
yeah, yeah. You are. You just it's almost like you're meditating as you're running. You just zone everything out, and you're just in that zone. It's hard to explain unless you're actually like doing it yourself.
Yeah. That's why I've actually got a Game Sticker t-shirt that says physical meditation on it because I truly believe it. You know,
Yeah,
exactly as you said, it is like a meditation. You're
yeah,
running, and all you're focused on is you know your lungs are burning, your limbs are burning, your fucking heart is going, you're pushing yourself hard, right? You're not thinking about yesterday, you're not thinking about tomorrow. You're just literally at one with yourself, and it is like every single second almost that's going that you're moving forward and you're pushing yourself is like all you're doing is just willing yourself to move forward, willing yourself to move forward, willing yourself to go more. And I honestly think that is one of the most empowering things that you can do as a person because when you have that relationship with yourself where every day you're going to almost like into a battle with yourself and you're going to push yourself with something that you know before you even lace your trainers up, you know it's going to be hard. You
yeah,
know it's going to test you, right? You know that not even a minute of that shit is going to be necessarily enjoyable. But what you're going to enjoy is the fact of the fact that you're pushing yourself through it. And there's nothing better. I mean, I know, and you know this, so when you get back from a session like that, fucking hell, mate, it's one of the best feelings in the world. Honest to God, you feel like everything after that is just easy, right?
yeah.
I bet you feel that, don't you?
I feel that most days, if I'm honest with you. Yeah, it's a nice feeling to have when you've gone from down there, now you're up there.
Yeah.
You just want to maintain that feeling. So for me, just exercising, going to the gym, I'm always up there now, never down there. So
I love it. And you know, I can't say enough about exercise and having a healthy diet, having a goal, right? And you know, working on that day in and day out is so
mm,
important. I tell people all the time that okay, I'm not trying to be a doctor here, but I tell people all the time that, you know, if you go to a doctor and you tell them that, you know, you're feeling shit, you're feeling low, you're in a depressed state, they'll just sedate you with medication, right? But I
definitely,
honestly think one of the best things you could do before you get to that stage is give yourself a prescription. And that prescription is dedicate yourself and be disciplined enough and commit yourself to actually doing something for yourself in terms of physical health, right? Getting out there, doing cardio, eating right, doing training, you know, do that for a couple of months and then see how everything changes. And when I've told people that, I said that, look, before you go to the depression route in terms of like medication and all that, just do this, whether you like it or not, just go out there, start working on your body, start getting fitter, start getting healthier, start getting stronger, and see what happens. And there hasn't been a single person yet who's not come out of that feeling a million times better. Because I keep telling people the body becomes a side effect of what you're doing,
yeah,
right? What you're doing becomes a thing that you crave every day. You know, finishing a workout, knowing that you're getting stronger, right? Feeling that pump, going for a cardio session, knowing that you're getting fitter, right? Lungs are burning, heart's burning, knowing that you're pushing your body physically, keeping to your diet, knowing that you're feeding yourself with good food, not shit that's going to make you feel like bloated, not shit that's going to make you feel foggy headed, not shit that's going to make you feel fucking like you're out of shape, like eating and knowing that you're nurturing your body, nurturing your mind. It is an environment. And that's what people don't realize. Your environment now, from the minute that you get up to the minute that you go to sleep, your whole environment of the life that you lead has changed. So that's of course your body's going to change. Because
yeah,
now you're a guy who, guess what, is fit, is healthy, is in shape, is doing those things daily. The Liam before, he was just a guy that rolled out of bed, you
yeah,
know, ate whatever for the day, didn't have a focus, didn't have a goal, was just trying to get through the day. Now
yeah,
you're a guy who wakes up, right, with a purpose and a focus going into your day. And that's why I say to people that I've seen you literally come to life on this journey. And I bet that's how you feel. I mean, how do you feel now from the beginning where you are to now? And you're thinking about this year ahead compared to how last year was for you. How is your sort of perspective and your sort of vision going into this year? Like, how do you feel about the whole thing?
I just feel on top of the world, to be honest, mate. From where I was to now, I never thought I could get to here, to be honest. Like when we spoke,
Really?
I thought it ain't gonna happen. But you know what? I'm gonna give it a go anyway because I've got nothing else to do. So I need to try something because there's nothing else for me to try anymore. I can't be any lower. And now I'm just happy. I'm almost feel like I'm a health and gym advocate. I'm always telling people, don't do this, go to the gym. Like, who am I? I weren't saying this 4 months ago. I was that person sat in the hole, not wanting to do anything. Now I'm encouraging people to come to the gym. You know, I've had 4 gym partners. I ain't got any now. I'm training on my own. But you can't force somebody to be motivated. You can encourage them, but you can't motivate somebody who don't want to be motivated. So now
No, you're absolutely.
I'm on top of the world now, mate. I just feel like from where I was to now, I don't know. I can't really explain it because it means a lot to me. You know, I spoke to you quite a few times like over voice notes and things. How I feel like a different person, and I know this is just a start. So if I can feel so good now, what's the next like 4 months going to be, or the next 4 months, or the next 4 months? It's just going to be unbelievable.
No, you're absolutely right. And this is it. This is how, like, I look back on my own life and look at my journey, and I never stopped and I never regretted it. Like, when I look back, I'm so happy of the work that I put into me, right?
Yeah,
The goals that I set for myself, the way that I keep challenging myself. Honestly, it makes life an adventure. And I tell you something now that it makes me so happy to hear that because, like I say, you were a guy who was thinking some seriously dark, negative thoughts, and they've almost evaporated. And they haven't
yeah,
evaporated because you went and watched a motivational video. They haven't evaporated because you read a motivational book. They haven't evaporated because you took some medication a doctor gave you. They've evaporated because you know what you've done? You've decided to actually put the work into your life. You've
mm,
decided that, look, I've had enough of this shit. I need to turn this around. You've decided to do better for yourself. You decided to see what you can actually do. And I tell you what really touched me is that every time I put a post up about you, I'm used to people messaging me saying it's an amazing result. Of course, right? I'm always showing client results. But what I really loved and I was really touched by is how much of your family and friends are really behind you and so happy with what you're doing. And when you
yeah,
get that sort of feedback, that just must, because one thing me telling you you're doing good, but when your family, your friends, even your own mother's telling you you're doing good, that must make you feel fucking more invigorated and more sort of focused in life than you've ever been.
yeah. It does. I've got like people messaging me that I haven't spoke to in probably a couple of years, just messaging me out the blue. Oh, how did you get like that? What you doing? I'm gonna do
Yeah.
that. Do you know what I mean? You look great. It's just everybody reaching out to me, like saying how good you look, and then that makes you it boosts your confidence. It really does.
Yeah. And the beautiful thing is that you can't fake this shit. And what I mean by that is that, you know, I don't know, if you go and buy a really nice jumper, an expensive jumper, or you go and buy a nice car, right? It's not as fulfilling or nowhere near as close as that. When it comes to physical health and it comes to your body, you've actually had to put the time in. You've had to get up every day and do that cardio. You've had to go to the gym when you haven't wanted to. You've had to get up and fucking prepare their meals and then eat them on time and get them in. And there is such a sense of accomplishment because I say to people that how can you feel accomplished in life if you've not had to overcome anything? Yet
Yeah,
you're having to overcome yourself every day. From the minute that fucking alarm clock gets up, you are having to be in control. You are having to put work in, right? And that's why you're now in a position where you're feeling the way that you have because it's earned. You've earned this. Do you know what I mean?
yeah, yeah. It's unbelievable. Like I haven't had. I've had anxiety for about 18 years. Like it got so bad where I couldn't even do anything. I'd go to work, go sit in my bedroom every single day. Um,
Fucking hell, man.
yeah, that bad every day. Wouldn't go out with friends. Wouldn't do anything. Just work, come home, sit in the bedroom. Wouldn't really be active with my children or anything. I've just locked myself away, which obviously probably contributed to a lot of the breakup, to be honest. Um, but yeah, that's just because of how I was mentally. I haven't had one bit of anxiety, and I've never gone in 18 years. I've never gone one day without anxiety, and I've not had one bit of anxiety since I started my program and my fitness. Not one day.
Liam, I
So,
tell you something now, mate. I was just really, it just makes me so happy to hear because I'm being real here with you that like 18 years of anxiety where you're in a situation where you just want to lock yourself away and you're too anxious to do anything, like
Yeah.
you'd almost think that that is life. That's what life's going to forever be. And a lot of people get stuck there and they think that things can never change, right? And to be where you are now, I guess the only word I could use is that you must feel fucking free.
Yeah, feel free, mate. Yeah, I'm doing things I've never done before. You know, like I wouldn't even leave Peterborough, where I'm from. You know, like, I'd go to the shops or anything, or and straight back home. Nowhere. Wouldn't do anything at all. Just in case this happens or that happens. In the last couple of months so far, I've climbed two out of three peaks, which
Wow.
I never do. That was challenging. I was getting palpitations and everything. Everything was telling me to turn around and not do it, but there was
Yeah.
no way halfway up and turning around. So I've done both peaks. I've obviously got one more left. I've done the fastest zip line in Europe. I've gone to Wales and done that twice. Things like that I would never ever do in my lifetime. I would always be sat in that bedroom. And now, mate, you want to see my list I've got? I've got a list of all the stuff I'm going to be doing this year and achieving. And then once this year's done, I'll be making another list of the next things. And I'm going to hit every single goal without fail.
Mate, absolutely 1000%. I couldn't agree more. And that's what I keep telling people is that once you start to realize what you can do and you overcome yourself, you conquer yourself, then it's kind of like I tell people all the time that if not to have an adventure in your lifetime, then when? Do you know what I mean? And people when I say that they think, oh yeah, it's not that. I've never said it's easy. I've never said it's easy. But what I'm saying is that give yourself a chance, right? Once you get to work on yourself and you realize that, hang on, I'm a lot more capable than I realized. And hang on, if I put my mind to things, I can do this. And actually, I don't want to miss out on having experiences in my life. I want to see what I can do. I want to see how far I can go. I want to see what life can offer because I'm only here fucking once, right?
Yeah,
So if I'm not going to do it now, when am I going to do it? And you get out your way, right?
yeah,
And then you go after it. It's life changing. I mean, again, I'm trying to say that 18 years of facing anxiety, 18 years of keeping yourself back, 18 years of standing in front of your fucking self, right? Right. And almost in a cocoon, suffocated,
yeah,
right? Of crippling anxiety, not being able to do stuff. Most people, you know, they would think it would never change. Most people are in that position watching this perhaps today, right? Thinking that it can never be them. But the truth of the matter is that once you just make that decision to do something and you stick to it and you start to see what you're capable of, everything changes. It's like they say, nothing changes unless you do. And
yeah.
fuck me, you must be so done with that anxious past and so ready now to actually start fucking living life on your terms and actually
Yeah.
start seeing what life can be for you.
Yeah, yeah. Like obviously, with the anxiety and things, I'd go to the doctors. I'd be given beta blockers to slow my heart down. All the rubbish you can think of. None of it ever worked. And they always said to me, "You'll never completely get rid of your anxiety. You'll learn to control it." I've just defined everything. That's rubbish. You don't need no
Yes.
medication, and you can stop it because the mind's the most powerful thing in the world. So what a load of rubbish. I don't care how long you train for, all them years of training and going to university, that was incorrect information. Like I don't had any anxiety in months and months and months. So that's incorrect.
I completely agree with you. And let me tell you this. This is what I say to people. Your mind is a programmable thing. That's what people don't realize, right? So it's kind of like you think you're your thoughts, but you're not. You can program the thoughts that you have, right? So there's a couple of things that I would say. And that first thing is that you can either program your mind to be an ally or to be an enemy. The enemy mind will say, I can't do this. I can't go here. I can't be this. Life is shit. This is hard. This is difficult. Boom, you're fucking suffocated. You're not doing shit in life, right?
Yeah,
The other mind that you can create, and the only way it can be done is from actually doing things. I can be this. Life can be that. I am going to take risks. I am going to push myself further. It doesn't matter if it's hard. I'm going to push myself. Okay, I've fallen over, but I'm going to get back up. I'm going to keep moving forward.
yeah,
You have to create that mindset. When you do, like one will stop you in life, and one will give you life. And you're completely right that it annoys me that the advice to someone like you would be think about what I'm going to say. The advice to someone like you would be take this medication, right? It's going to fucking sedate you, right?
yeah,
It's going to make you grey. And guess what? I'm telling you to believe There's nothing, this will never go away.
Yeah. Yeah.
Think what that does to a human being. Like, you've already said to them, here's medicine, that can't actually fix it. But on top of that, you ain't never going to get away from this.
Yeah.
You're going to think you can't change that shit around.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
You know?
unbelievable. Yeah.
And here you are, living proof, not fucking 4 years later, 4 months later, of just absolutely grafting every single day. You've changed that around. And I want to get this picture up because I want to see what, just refresh people, your transformation so far, right? And I want to see what you think looking at this. I mean, when you look at this picture here, what does that do for you? Like, it's just two different men altogether, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. Don't even look like the same person. Yeah.
And I mean,
Jesus.
the guy there on the left, the before guy, was full of doubt, right? Full of worry, full of like stress, anxiety. The guy on the right there, within 4 months, has literally turned his life around. And when you look at those pictures, I mean, what does that do for you? Like, how does that make you feel, man?
Just makes me feel really proud, to be honest. That's something I don't
Should
feel off.
be.
And I am just looking at both of them pictures. The left one, you can see I'm down, out of shape, depressed, just rock bottom. And the other one, I'm happy, I'm smiling. I've got colour in my skin. My body's looking great. Yeah, I'm proud.
You should be, and you put the work into that. That's the key thing. You've built that. You know, in life, right? You don't find yourself. So I tell people, you don't find yourself in life. What you do is you build yourself, right?
Mhm.
You sit there and you think to yourself, do you know what? I've got one life, right? Do you know what, right? Who do I want to be and what do I want life to be? And then you literally real time start to construct that person. Okay, well, do you know what? I want to be fit. So to be that sort of man, I've got to be doing my running, right? I want to be strong and I want to be muscular. To do that, I've got to be a guy that goes to the gym and works out and pushing himself. Okay, if I want to make progress and I want to be healthy, I've got to eat right. Now, if I do that day in and day out, all of a sudden, you as a human being are changing real time. Your physique is changing, your
Yeah.
mentality is changing, you're changing, your fucking life is changing, right? And that's, I think, people look at that as work. Oh, like shit, man, it's a lot of work. You know, you got to do all these things. I don't think it's work. I see it as an opportunity. You have an
Yeah.
opportunity here, right, to become the person and to have the life and to experience what you want to do. Like, here's a guy who, for 18 years, kept himself locked in a room, pretty much, right, working, locked in a room, not going further than Peterborough. Now going to a guy that is not only going after life, but has a fucking tick list of everything that he knows he's going to achieve because
Yeah.
of how you connected to yourself.
Mhm. Yeah, definitely.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's incredible, incredible to witness. And I mean, so people who are watching this now, Liam joined up with me, and the first goal was to get into great shape. Now you're nearly there, and I've got to be honest with you, I really got a lot of admiration for you because you've dieted very, very hard. You've got your body fat down really low. Like, I'll be honest with you, we wouldn't need to go much lower unless you want to compete or do a photo shoot or something.
Yeah.
So this first stage is done, and I will tell you something now. You've passed with absolutely flying colors, right? You really have. Believe me now, being in a deficit, right? Being hungry, being low energy, pushing yourself to low body fat levels, it's almost torture, right?
Yeah.
And you've passed the flying colours. So we're nearly there. I believe that this weekend will be the end of this cut. And I mean, for you this year ahead, it's about now we're gonna almost repeat these processes. So the next process is going to be to build muscle, to get stronger, to build more size up, to build shape. And I mean, how forward are you looking to that?
Can't wait, mate. It's feel like it's been a long time coming. Like like you said, it's been real difficult with the dieting and things. So I'm excited for the next stage.
Yeah, I really can't wait to take you through it because you know what it is that first of all, you've not faffed around. You know, sometimes it can take people a long, drawn out time to get into great shape. You've
Yeah.
actually done it rapidly, and it's because of your attitude, right? It's because of your focus. As much as I can talk about my coaching, it's a fucking teamwork effort. You know,
Yeah.
I write the plan, but the person doing the plan's got to execute. They've got to really want to do it. You
Yeah.
have, right? So now we find ourselves in a position that literally after 4 months, you've gone from being out of shape to being in the best shape of your life, full stop. The
Yeah.
goal now, and what I'm excited for, is because a lot of people, when they get into shape, they think, okay, I've transformed my body. I'm at the end of my journey. Truth of the matter is that I always tell people once you're in shape, that's when your journey begins. Because, Brian, what we're going to build next is you imagine like where you are now, everything's muscular, everything's separated.
Yeah.
Now we can start to pack on muscle, which is going to change your shape. So the shoulders get bigger, the traps get higher, the chest get thicker, the arms get bigger. You're going
Yeah.
to get stronger. I will tell you now, getting stronger and eating more food is one of the most, you feel like a fucking Superman walking around. So I
Yeah.
can't wait to take you through that. And that's what I love, that you started this journey and the goal was, I just need to do something positive for myself. You were not sitting there. You said it with your own mouth. You weren't even
Yeah.
expecting that you could get to the shape that you're in, but you just thought, I'll give it a good whack. Now you're sitting here and you're going into almost a new chapter where you're actually going to be bulking up, building muscle, building size, and taking yourself to a level you've never been to before. You must be so excited.
Can't wait, mate. Yeah. I just want Joe. Like you almost, although you want to enjoy the experience and the journey, you almost want to like have a little glimpse into the future, how you're going to look in 6 months or 9 months or 12 months. You know what I mean? It's exciting. So
It really is. You know what, man? I'm really enjoying this because I say the same things to people. So I'm obviously used to working hard every single day, right? And I've, different areas like coaching, my own training, business, this sort of stuff. And I always tell people, my only thing that I could ever wish for, I never wish for it to be easy. I love working hard. The only thing I wish, Liam, is I wish I could fast forward 3 months just to see where I get to.
yeah,
6 months just to see where things are. Because I
yeah,
know what work I'm going to put in. Do you know what I mean?
yeah. Yeah,
And
it's just
that's where you must be at now.
yeah, it's just if you sort of like fast forward a little bit, you just want to see what that result's going to look like or the hard work. So yeah, I think that all the time. What am I going to be in 3 months? What am I going to be in 6 months? What am I going to be in 9 months? I'm just excited. So
That's it. And every day is another step closer in it. Every day is like another chance to work hard and make that goal become more of a reality.
yeah, yeah.
Fucking love it, mate. Honest to God.
It's funny. I always get people asking me the same question.
Mm.
What's your end goal? What you gonna do once you get to where you want to be? Are you gonna cut down going to the gym? Are you gonna slow down? Are you gonna stop? And I say the same thing. Why am I gonna stop? I I'm gonna carry on because it's a lifestyle change. It's who I am now. I'm gonna look after my body and look after myself. So I'm gonna keep training. I'm gonna keep running, exercising, training, back in the gym, keeping healthy, keeping a routine and discipline. Like why would I change that now? Just because I've got to like a body physique that I want. There's no need to change that. But everyone asks the same question. It's quite funny how people always ask that.
You know what? You're absolutely spot on. Can you believe this? I get asked the same question myself. And I
Mm.
tell the people exactly what you say. I say to people that, look, let me break it down for you. Like, we've somehow, some way, weirdly normalized not
Yeah,
doing anything for your body and mind.
yeah,
That's the normal disposition. The normal position of a person is now a normal person with a normal life. Apparently, what you do is you don't have a control of what you eat. You just eat what you want.
yeah,
You're not active. You're not fit. You're not healthy because all that stuff is for vanity or it's just a chore or just for a transformation. And I say to people that, guess what? I look around me. I'm coming into my 40s now, mate. I look around me. I look at friends, family, people that I know in their 40s, in their 50s, who've completely abandoned themselves, right? They're not doing anything for their health. They're not doing anything for their fitness. They're not doing anything for their strength. They're not got any routine, right? They're just kind of drifting from day to day. And I don't mean to sound bad, but I'm not fucking surprised they're depressed. I would be depressed too. Like
of course.
I am not going to abandon myself. I'm going to stay strong. I'm going to stay fit. I want to be one of the best built people I know in my 40s, in my 50s. I want to be one of the hardest workers I know in my
Yeah,
40s, in my 50s. Because, bro, do you know what? Like the minute that you take your foot off the gas, and the minute that you start to let yourself fall to pieces, you will fucking fall to pieces. And I don't never want to be in a position where I've quit on myself. Do you know what I mean?
yeah, most definitely. Yeah, you start once you start slacking and start falling back, then all that hard work just starts going out the window, and then it's going to be just as hard, or if not harder, to get back to it because now it's going to take a lot of mental strength to get back to where you was because now you're
Yeah.
depressed, but let yourself fall back. So now you've got to beat that as well as the hard work. So it's just you just got to keep
It's
going.
amazing. It's amazing people's mindsets. Like people will think, oh God, Liam's doing a lot, man. He's going to the gym. He's look at the fucking food he's eating, right? Look at that trade training. All they don't realize is that you've only gained. Like you might be working hard, but look at what you've lost. What you've lost, right, is anxiety. What you've lost is depression. What you've
Yeah,
lost is a physique that was out of shape. What you lost was a physique that was unfit. What you've gained is peace in your mind. What you've
Yeah.
gained is strength in your body. What you've gained is fitness in your heart. What you've gained is a body that's in the best shape of your life. What you've gained is a positive outlook. What you've gained is that you're excited for the future. You're not thinking, I don't know if I want to be here today. And that's what people fucking miss out on. They don't realize that, guess what? Until you start putting that work into your life, nothing's going to change for you. So why now you're in this position? Why would you, right? Think about it. Why would you decide that, okay, I want to go back to how I was? You're
Yeah.
never going to fucking want to go back to how you were.
Oh, no.
Do you know what I mean? Because, like you said, this is your lifestyle, what you do now. So, you know what I want to say to you? It's been an incredible conversation with you. Before we tie this up, can I ask you any advice to anyone watching this? And this is not for you telling to get to gain seekers or anything, because that's not what I'm about. But anyone watching this right now who's in a position and they're familiar with where you were, right? What would be your just if honest advice? What would be your honest advice talking to you before you began this journey?
So if I was talking to myself now, I'd say you're all time low. You're at rock bottom. You feel like you've got nothing to live for. So why not try something? Why not try better yourself or make yourself feel happy? Like you're failing already. You're failing. If you're feeling how you're feeling, you're failing at something. So you can't fail any more than you're failing. So just pull yourself together really and just go for it. Like you can make the change if you want to change. It's all about what you want, and just be disciplined and motivated. Honestly, like that's the only way you can get through it. And once you reach that stage, it's no more a chore. It's excitement. I can't wait to do this. I can't wait to do that. And your life will change 100%. And that's coming from somebody that's had the worst anxiety you'd ever imagined in the world. Yeah.
Absolutely incredible, man. I'm so happy for you. Honestly, like it's been such a. Can I just say to you from my side, right? It's been such a pleasure working with you. I'm so happy that you're staying on. I can't honestly cannot wait for you to see how far we can take this and how far you can go. You know, I say to you every week on those voice notes the same thing. And
Mhm.
you know, I'm glad that you're a friend to yourself because like I say to you, no, I'm not saying this in a negative way, but you can imagine I get a lot of people around Christmas time, mate. You know, New Year, I want to get this, but I never hear from them again.
Yeah.
Never. And I'm so glad that you committed to yourself, right? And I'm so glad that you took a chance on yourself. And I'm so glad that we're sitting here doing this podcast today because you know what it is that a lot of people talk about new year, new me. Next year is going to be my best year. Well, it has been, hasn't it? It has been a new year, new you. It has been the best year that you've had so far. Do you know what I mean? You are in a great position. You're doing shit you never have even thought of doing, right?
Yeah.
And you're becoming a person that you never imagined that you could become. And it's just a start. And what's it taken? It's taking just discipline, consistency, and working hard and believing in yourself.
That's it. That's all. Yeah.
Yeah. That's it. So, brother, I'll leave you to it. Been really, honestly, fantastic talking to you. And
Thank you.
we're on Thursday, so I can't wait to get you checking Saturday. We're gonna start putting some food in you. We're gonna start growing some muscle.
But yeah, thank you very much. Thank you for all you've done for me as well, mate. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Bro, it's an absolute pleasure, and I really mean it. It's just a start. So have a good evening, and catch up with you on the check-in on Saturday.
Thank you. Take care, mate.
Take care.